In the pantheon of rock and roll, the drummer is often the unsung hero. While guitarists and vocalists bask in the spotlight, the rhythmic anchor provides the foundation upon which entire musical empires are built. Few exemplify this archetype more profoundly than Frank Lee Beard, the unassuming heartbeat of one of rock's most iconic and enduring trios, ZZ Top. Born in the small town of Frankston, Texas, on June 11, 1949, Beard's trajectory from a teenage dreamer captivated by the British invasion to a sober, reflective elder statesman of rock is a narrative rife with the quintessential tropes of the genre: meteoric success, crushing addiction, personal redemption, and an unwavering commitment to craft. While his bandmates, Billy Gibbons and Dusty Hill, became visually synonymous with the band's identity through their waist-length beards, Beard, ironically the clean-shaven member of the group, was the consistent, grounding pulse that allowed ZZ Top to transcend generations and musical trends. His life story is a testament to the power of resilience, the quiet strength required to overcome profound personal demons, and the enduring value of artistic integrity in the face of a constantly evolving music industry. Frank Beard's early life was steeped in the rich, sonic tapestry of post-war Texas. Growing up in Irving, Texas, he was immersed in a musical landscape where the melancholic strains of the blues collided with the twang of country and the nascent, rebellious energy of rockabilly. This environment provided a fertile ground for a young musician, though the initial spark for his career was less about artistic expression and more about a common teenage pursuit. The British invasion, spearheaded by bands like the Beatles, proved to be a pivotal moment. As Beard candidly admitted in later interviews, his primary motivation for picking up a pair of drumsticks was a simple desire to capture the attention of girls and stand out from his peers. This pragmatic, almost cynical, beginning belied the profound mastery he would later achieve. The late 1960s Texas music circuit was a vibrant, competitive, and often brutal training ground. Beard threw himself into this world with relentless determination, honing his timing and signature shuffle in a series of Dallas-area bands, including the Cellar Dwellers, the Hustlers, and the Warlocks. It was during this formative period that he forged an indispensable musical and personal partnership with bassist Dusty Hill. The duo's chemistry was immediate and instinctive, and they joined forces in the American Blues, a garage rock outfit notable for its blue-dyed hair and aggressive interpretations of classic electric blues standards. This partnership would prove to be the bedrock upon which one of rock's most enduring rhythm sections was built. The year 1969 marked an irrevocable turning point. Guitarist Billy Gibbons, fresh from his work with the psychedelic band The Moving Sidewalks, was assembling a new lineup for a Houston-based group. He recruited Beard as his drummer, and Beard, recognizing the importance of his partnership with Hill, immediately reached out to secure his old cohort for the bass position. When the three men stepped into a small rehearsal room together, the chemistry was instantaneous and undeniable. The lineup that would remain unbroken for over 5 decades was complete. In the group's earliest studio recordings, Beard was credited under the pseudonym Rube Beard, a homage to his rural Texas roots, before reverting to his real name on subsequent releases. This name, while a simple gesture, hinted at his personality, unpretentious, grounded, and authentically Texan. The trajectory of ZZ Top is an essential chapter in American roots rock history. With Beard anchoring the rhythmic framework, the power trio crafted a distinct blend of shuffle-heavy blues, boogie rock, and wry, humorous narrative. Their debut album, ZZ Top's first album, 1971, and its follow-up, Rio Grande Mud, 1972, established their sound across the American South, marking them as a force to be reckoned with. However, it was their third album, Tres Hombres, 1973, that proved to be their commercial and artistic breakthrough. Featuring the unstoppable hypnotic groove of La Grange, the album propelled them onto the national stage and cemented their signature sound. Beard's drumming style stood out for its unpretentious, rock-solid discipline. He eschewed overly complex solos and flashy pyrotechnics, prioritizing groove, pocket, and precision. His signature shuffle, a deceptively simple pattern that swung with immense power, provided the sturdy canvas over which Gibbons's fuzzy, overdriven guitar and Hill's driving bass lines could thrive. Through the mid-1970s, The band toured relentlessly, culminating in massive, production-heavy stadium events like the Worldwide Texas Tour. The grueling schedule and the accompanying rock and roll lifestyle eventually took their toll, leading to a prolonged hiatus in the late 1970s. This hiatus was a period of reckoning for the band, but particularly for Beard, whose personal life was in crisis. When the band re-emerged in the 1980s, they had undergone a visual transformation. Gibbons and Hill had grown their trademark waist-length beards, leaving Beard, ironically, as the only member of ZZ Top who did not wear a full beard, typically favoring a clean mustache or a short, groomed trim. This visual contrast became a defining characteristic of the band's image. The 1980s saw ZZ Top undergo a massive commercial reinvention, arguably the most successful of their career. By fusing their traditional Texas blues with modern synthesizers, drum machines, and polished sequencers, they created an audiovisual phenomenon. The 1983 album Eliminator sold over 10 million copies in the United States alone, boosted by high-rotation MTV videos featuring flashy cars, synth-laden hooks, and Beard's steady four-on-the-floor beat-driving hit singles like Gimme All Your Lovin', Sharp-Dressed Man, and Legs. They followed this massive success with Afterburner, 1985, and Recycler, 1990, cementing their status as global arena headliners. Over the subsequent decades, ZZ Top transitioned into iconic elder statesmen of rock and roll. In 2004, Beard, alongside Hill and Gibbons, was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame by Keith Richards, a fitting tribute to a band that had defied the odds and maintained one of the longest unchanged lineups in popular music history. Behind the massive stadium tours and platinum records lay a complex personal life marked by intense highs and dark periods of excess. As ZZ Top's fame skyrocketed during the 1970s, so did the rock and roll lifestyle surrounding the band. Beard, a quiet and introspective individual, found himself swallowed by severe chemical dependencies. By his own later admissions, he burned through vast sums of money, including an entire $72,000 royalty paycheck, on illicit substances, eventually succumbing to a severe heroin addiction that threatened both his life and the future of the group. During the band's late 1970s hiatus, the weight of his substance abuse reached a crisis point. Recognizing that he could not survive on his current trajectory, Beard made the decisive choice to seek professional help. He entered a 30-day rehabilitation program to get sober, successfully conquering his addictions and returning to music with a renewed focus that helped power the band's 1980s resurgence. His recovery stands as a testament to his personal strength and resilience, a rare success story in an industry that has been marred by countless tales of tragic demise. Away from the stage, Beard pursued passions that contrasted sharply with his wild rock and roll persona. He developed a lifelong love for high-performance automobiles, building a notable collection of sports cars, with a particular affinity for Ferraris. His enthusiasm for driving extended into amateur racing, where he competed in sanctioned national auto racing events, including endurance races like the 24 Hours of Daytona. In addition to auto racing, Beard became an accomplished, scratch-level golfer. Known for his high athletic skill on the greens, he regularly participated in local tournaments, charity golf events, and community outings in his home state. Bandmates and associates frequently described him as the practical joker of the group, possessing a quick, dry Texas wit, a penchant for light-hearted pranks, and a sharp delivery during press interviews. This jovial persona served as a counterbalance to the darker struggles he had faced, showcasing his ability to find joy and levity in life. He eventually settled into a quieter, rural lifestyle in Richmond, Texas, where he owned and operated the Top 40 Ranch, a sanctuary far from the relentless pace of the music industry. Relationship with Catherine Alexander. As ZZ Top reached national prominence in the late 1970s, Beard's personal life shifted into the spotlight. Following a long-term relationship, Beard married Catherine Alexander in April 1978. This marriage, however, coincided with the most turbulent phase of Beard's personal struggles. As the pressures of sudden fame and touring escalated, Beard's severe drug addiction placed an immense strain on the partnership. The chaotic environment created by heavy substance abuse eroded the stability of their home life, creating a cycle of dysfunction that was difficult to break. Despite efforts to navigate these personal hurdles together, the marriage was unable to survive the destructive nature of his addiction during those years. Beard and Alexander had no children together, and after 3 years of marriage, they formally divorced in July 1981. This period marked a major turning point for Beard, as the end of the marriage overlapped with his decision to enter rehab and rebuild his health and personal life from the ground up. The dissolution of his first marriage served as a catalyst for change, a stark reminder of the collateral damage of his addiction. Relationship with Debbie Meredith. Following his period of recovery and personal restructuring, Beard met Debbie Meredith, the woman who would become his lifelong anchor. The couple married on November 11, 1982, shortly after Beard established a solid footing in his sobriety. Unlike many spouses of legendary rock stars, Debbie Meredith chose to maintain a quiet, low-profile presence away from the public eye. She focused on building a stable family life at their Texas ranch while supporting Beard through the demanding cycles of world tours and album releases. Together, they raised 3 children, twin sons and a daughter, creating a legacy that extended beyond music. Her presence provided a consistent, grounding force that allowed Beard to remain sober and focused throughout the decades that followed. Their partnership became one of the longest-lasting marriages in the rock world, enduring for nearly 44 years until his passing in August 2026. While she rarely granted interviews or attended high-profile Hollywood events, she occasionally stepped out for meaningful band milestones, such as serving as the maid of honor when Dusty Hill married Charlene McCrory in 2002. Her steadfast support was instrumental in Beard's sustained recovery and his ability to navigate the complexities of a life lived in the public eye. Decades of continuous touring, album sales, and song publishing built a solid financial legacy for Frank Beard. Through ZZ Top's multi-platinum record sales, lucrative stadium runs, and sync licensing deals in films and television, his net worth was estimated at approximately $50 million at the time of his passing in 2026. A significant portion of his wealth was tied to the enduring catalog of ZZ Top, a collection of songs that have become deeply embedded in the fabric of American popular culture. As an equal partner in the classic 3-piece lineup, Beard shared in the lucrative publishing and performance royalties generated by timeless tracks like La Grange, Tush, and the Eliminator album singles. Beyond his direct earnings from music, Beard invested in Texas real estate, notably maintaining the Top 40 ranch in Richmond, Texas, alongside his personal investments in fine motor cars and regional business ventures. His financial narrative stands as a testament to recovery. After burning through early paychecks during his period of addiction, he transitioned into a prudent manager of his career earnings, securing long-term stability for his family. This financial acumen was a crucial component of his overall recovery, providing a sense of security and purpose that had been absent during the darkest days of his addiction. Behind the massive stadium tours and platinum records lay a complex personal life marked by intense highs and dark periods of excess. As ZZ Top's fame skyrocketed during the 1970s, so did the rock and roll lifestyle surrounding the band. Beard found himself swallowed by severe chemical dependencies. By his own later admissions, he burned through vast sums of money, including an entire $72,000 royalty paycheck, on illicit substances, eventually succumbing to a severe heroin addiction that threatened both his life and the future of the group. During the band's late 1970s hiatus, the weight of his substance abuse reached a crisis point. Recognizing that he could not survive on his current trajectory, Beard made the decisive choice to seek professional help. He entered a 30-day rehabilitation program to get sober, successfully conquering his addictions and returning to music with a renewed focus that helped power the band's 1980s resurgence. Away from the stage, Beard pursued passions that contrasted sharply with his wild rock and roll persona. He developed a lifelong love for high-performance automobiles, building a notable collection of sports cars, with a particular affinity for Ferraris. His enthusiasm for driving extended into amateur racing, where he competed in sanctioned national auto racing events, including endurance races like the 24 Hours of Daytona. In addition to auto racing, Beard became an accomplished, scratch-level golfer. Known for his high athletic skill on the greens, he regularly participated in local tournaments, charity golf events, and community outings in his home state. Bandmates and associates frequently described him as the practical joker of the group, possessing a quick, dry Texas wit, a penchant for light-hearted pranks, and a sharp delivery during press interviews. He eventually settled into a quieter, rural lifestyle in Richmond, Texas, where he owned and operated the Top 40 Ranch. Beard's drumming style stood out for its unpretentious, rock-solid discipline. Rather than engaging in overly complex solos, he prioritized groove, pocket, and precision. His signature shuffle provided the sturdy canvas over which Gibbons's fuzzy guitars and Hill's driving bass lines thrived. Frank Beard's legacy is one of profound impact and quiet resilience. While his name may not have graced the same headlines as his more flamboyant bandmates, his contribution to the enduring sound of ZZ Top is immeasurable. He was the rhythmic heartbeat, the steady engine that powered a band through 5 decades of relentless change. His journey from a small-town Texas boy to a global rock icon is a microcosm of the American dream, but with a crucial twist. The dream nearly destroyed him. It was his ability to confront his demons, to seek help, and to rebuild his life from the ashes of addiction that defines his character. He found solace in his family, in the quiet of his Texas ranch, and in the simple pleasures of golf and racing. His story is a powerful reminder that behind every great artist lies a human being, with all the complexities, struggles, and triumphs that entails. Frank Beard was not just a drummer. He was a survivor, a husband, a father, and a constant, dependable presence in a world of fleeting fame. The music he helped create will continue to resonate, but his personal example of redemption and resilience is perhaps his most enduring legacy.